Hey folks, Fractured Headlines here. The other day I Googled, was Donald Trump a bully as a child? Was he a bully in school? And what came up was a lot of stories from a variety of sources that confirmed, yes, indeed, he was a bully from the time he was a small child. Not surprising, I guess, growing up in a rich family where everything was given to him, nothing was earned. But the stories from his early childhood involved throwing stones at the baby next door, hopping off his bicycle with a crew of his buddies to beat up smaller children. And then by the age of 13, his bullying and misbehavior, but he had spent a lot of time in detention and school as well. And the Trump parents, Donald's parents, finally got tired of it, and when he was 13, they shipped him off to the New York Military School, which is it's a reform school, really. It's 60 miles outside of Manhattan. And from all reports, Fred would visit from time to time, fairly regularly. But I believe her name was Mary Trump. The mom was pretty relieved to have Trump out of the house and didn't visit very often. Be that as it may, Trump was he was very unhappy with that treatment. He was not happy at having been shipped off. But it didn't do any good, because in the military school he continued his bullying activities. His classmates referred to him as Mr. Meticulous, because he ran a tight ship in the dorm and was known for folding his underwear in neat squares. What that has to do with bullying, I don't know. But today we're talking about bullying. And we're seeing that manifest itself in many ways. Recently, reporters asking Trump tough questions in the White House press corps and other reporters, especially the female reporters, have been asked if they're stupid and have been called piggy. Bullying, folks, bullying. Then we have Trump's own admission that he grabs the women by the pussy. Well, not only is it sexual assault, it's bullying. It's bullying women. I recall a debate with Hillary Clinton where he hovered over her on the stage, violating her personal space. Again, bullying. Then we have the long history of Trump's stiffing contractors during his builder days. I remember reading a story a while back about a guy who supplied him with a bunch of pianos. The pianos were fine. There was nothing wrong with the pianos. But Trump tied him up in court, basically applying the principle possession is 9/10 of the law. And he refused to pay for those pianos. And it took that business years to recuperate from that financial blow. And of course, he never collected on that. Thousands of lawsuits that Trump has been involved in over the years involved stiffing contractors, again, bullying suppliers, bullying contractors. And now it spills over into his military activities. We see Trump bullying boaters in the Caribbean. We're never going to know if those boats contain drugs. Why? Because they were blown out of the water and the evidence was not gathered afterwards. Whatever evidence there was sank to the bottom of the ocean. These are embarrassing times to be an American. At this point, we should all be feeling shame with our government, shame for our government. We should be embarrassed at at the people who are running the show in Washington. Look at Pete Hegseth. Now there's a guy, there's a principle there's an idea that people sometimes are promoted and promoted and promoted until they are promoted to a job for which they have no qualifications and which they are ill-suited. And Pete Hegseth fits that idea perfectly. As a talking head at Fox, he had reached pretty much the pinnacle of his ability. He was able to read a teleprompter and parrot the ideas that came out of the Trump administration, or the Fox talking points, I should say. And that was pretty much as high as he was going to rise as far as his native ability, his competence. But then Trump plucked him out of that world and put him on as the head of the Secretary of Defense, where it's obvious the man is floundering. He has no idea what he's doing. We saw on TV the other day that he claimed that in the fog of war, he wasn't sure if there were 2 survivors on that boat that they bombed a second time. Come on, folks. Bald-faced lie. You know that's a lie. He hung around. He made sure those people were also killed. Violation of the principles of war. You don't attack shipwrecked sailors. You don't do that. So the bullying has escalated to the point where it's now murder. In the name of the United States government, we have murderers running the show. Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, ordering the death of Caribbean sailors. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know if they have drugs or not. There has been no proof. I believe it's about 29 or 30 boats have been bombed now. They say that about 80 people have been killed. Hey, those could have been recreational boaters. Those could have been fishermen. They could have been drug dealers. They could have been drug transporters. We're never going to know. One thing's for certain, small boats operating in the Caribbean do not pose an existential threat to the United States. Anybody who says otherwise is trying to sell you a bridge, trying to sell you a load of bunkum. It's not true. Venezuela is a third-rate military. Compared to the United States, they're a gnat. They are a gnat to be swatted away if they attacked us. And they haven't attacked us, folks. You know, Colombia is pretty well known as the kingpin of producing cocaine, you know, selling the cocaine, producing the cocaine. We're not going to attack Colombia. Why? Well, I guess because Venezuela's got the oil. And if we bully them enough, maybe that oil can be sold to us at advantageous prices, steered away from China and India. It's a big geopolitical move. Again, it's an attempt to bully one of our neighbors. Yeah, the bullying. The bullying goes on. And it's entered into the... We've become so numb to it that ordinary citizens, I think, they just turn away. It's a little bit like Germany with the Nazis. You know, bad things were happening, but hey, we don't know. We see that there are people loaded onto the trains going somewhere, and we understand that they're all Jews, but we really don't know what's going on. Even though some people did know what was going on, you kind of get used to outrageous behavior from your leaders after a while. So it's time for us to feel some shame. It's time for all of us to use our voices. Hey, I'm just one guy walking down a country road. I don't have any power, but I do have a voice, and I can say these things. I can tell you Donald Trump is a war criminal. I can tell you Pete Hegseth is a war criminal. And I can tell you that anybody carrying out the orders to bomb these boats without identifying who's in them and what's going on, they're war criminals. We are being governed by a cabal of war criminals. And I could go on about that, but I don't want to try anybody's patience or take up too much of your time. But folks, it's time for us to It's time for us to start feeling some shame, to speak out about it. Quite frankly, I'm ashamed of the United States right now. I'm ashamed of our government. You know? Never mind regime change in Venezuela. Regime change in Washington. Holy Toledo. That's where the regime change needs to take place. 2026 is coming around, folks. It's time to use your vote. Use your vote wisely. A lot of votes got wasted in 2024, very stupidly, and now we can look at that and we know that. A lot of people are shaking their heads. So how did I vote for that guy? Have your prices gone down? No. Is your food any cheaper? No. Is your gas any cheaper? No. Is your rent any cheaper? No. Do you have better health care? No. Is there a Republican health care plan? No. But is there a ton of bullying? Yes, there is. There sure is. It's not a nice thing. It's not a beautiful thing. It's not a acceptable thing to have a bully in the White House. I'm going to call it right there, folks. Fracture headlines. And I'll catch you on the next video.